Another ancestor sneered, "If you fail, I'll throw you into Longtan and imprison you for 100 years. Hey friends, welcome back to 3D Cartoon Review, where one breakthrough can rewrite destiny, and one hidden shadow can instantly turn that destiny into prey. Today we enter Renegade Immortal episode 122, and the moment Wang Lin steps into Wending, the world answers with a silent, patient hunt. So settle in, because when the last lightning thread fades, something far colder begins stretching out from an ancient battlefield's darkness. At the end of episode 121, Wang Lin and Gu Yao shattered the heavenly tribulation together, then separated immediately, vanishing like two blades thrown in opposite winds. The tribulation dispersed, but Tianyao Cheng remained a corpse of stone, broken towers leaning like ribs, scorched streets still humming with leftover thunder. Above the ruins, 5 ancient old men hovered, faces grim, because a city built by generations had been crushed into dust within only a few breaths. They roared at the empty sky. "Heavenly tribulation, damn you! Gu Yundun, get out here!" And their voices cracked drifting dust like whips. Before the echoes died, Gu Yundun appeared and bowed deeply, posture obedient enough to look carved from fear, discipline, and long years surviving elders. "Grandson Yundun greets the 5 ancestor grandfathers," he said quickly, eyes lowered, because even one slow syllable could become a sentence of suffering. One ancestor pointed at the wasteland and ordered flatly, 3 months restore this place to how it was before, as if rebuilding meant sweeping a courtyard. Another ancestor sneered, "If you fail, I'll throw you into Longtan and imprison you for 100 years, tone casual, cruelty effortless." Gu Yundun's face tightened for a heartbeat. Then he bowed again, replying, "Ancestor, rest assured this grandson will restore Giaocheng completely." A third ancestor's gaze sharpened, remembering the tribulation's chaos, then said, "That one we took interest in 3 months later, bring him to Longtan." The 5 old men stared once more at the shattered skyline, then their bodies flashed, disappearing like sparks swallowed by wind and distance. Gu Yundun remained alone amid debris and silence, staring at the ruins as if every collapsed wall had become a chain wrapped around his throat. Far away, Wang Lin had already crossed tens of thousands of li, the world suddenly quiet enough to hear his own breath scrape his lungs. He felt the gate of Wending trembling inside him, the breakthrough so close it was like a thin film ready to tear with one decisive thought. Without wasting time, he took out a cave-dwelling token, entered his secluded abode, and sealed the entrance as if locking away the entire world. Inside the cave, the air was dry and still, and even dust seemed afraid to move, as if it recognized the cold patience of cultivators. Wang Lin sat cross-legged, spine straight, mind colder than stone, because cultivation rewards focus and punishes hesitation more brutally than any enemy. He scattered immortal jades in a wide circle, the clink sounding like tiny bells, while spiritual energy rose like mist from hidden springs. Then he produced the Wending Star Crystal Zhou Yi had given him, and his eyes narrowed, because this was a debt and a lifeline. He closed his eyes, began refining, and within him, immortal force became an invisible flame, wrapping the nascent soul cocoon like iron in a silent forge. That flame merged with immortal power, condensing into primordial qi, thickening strand by strand, as if gathering his 700 years into one channel. As qi compressed, it formed a clear droplet, transparent, heavy, impossibly pure, like a tear distilled from time, thunder, and stubborn endurance. The droplet crystallized slowly, becoming his forming star crystal, and the cocoon around his spirit tightened as if responding to a heartbeat. In that stillness, Wang Lin felt the world's noise fade, yet he also felt danger, because breakthroughs shine like torches to hungry things. On an ancient battlefield, inside a black tower, something else stirred, an entity in black armor awakening, eyes glowing with faint yoguang, cold and calculating. Those eyes tasted Wang Lin's newborn qi from afar, and desire sharpened like a starving beast, finally smelling warm blood through cold wind. It had waited years to devour newly formed Wending qi, and now it began arranging a harvest meant for Wang Lin alone. The armored entity summoned the old man from before and ordered him to move, commanding him to lead Hu Pao into action without delay. Its voice carried no emotion, only hunger, as if it had repeated this ritual countless times and expected the world to obey again. At that same moment, Inside the cave, Wang Lin's seated body trembled, as if a blade had jammed into the refinement process. Pressure twisted the cocoon dangerously, and for one heartbeat it seemed the forming crystal might crack, scattering his chance into nothingness. Then Zhou Yi's crystal within his dantian surged forward, slamming into the nascent soul cocoon, decisive and without hesitation. It shattered on purpose, exploding into pure primordial qi that poured into Wang Lin's forming crystal like molten metal rushing into a waiting mold. The surge stabilized everything, and the cocoon embraced the crystal again, sealing itself as if swearing that this realm would be born. Wang Lin's breath remained even, but his internal world roared, because forming a realm is like forging a new heart under crushing pressure. When the final tremor settled, the path opened, and Wang Lin stepped into Wending, silent as stone, yet heavier than mountains. Time moved strangely after that, because for cultivators, 10 years can pass like a blink when the heart is sealed inside silence. Outside, Tianyao struggled to recover, and Gu Yundun often stared at the horizon, Wang Lin's name becoming a splinter in his thoughts. In another city, Mo Lihai, now promoted to deputy commander, looked into the far distance and whispered, "Brother Wang, where did you go?" Wars shifted, alliances bent, rumors drifted like smoke, yet inside the cave abode Wang Lin did not move, deeper than a statue's stillness. At last, tiny cracks spread across the cocoon like spiderwebs, then the shell broke apart with a soft collapse that sounded like fate exhaling. A new nascent soul emerged, solid and real, radiating shimmering qi, absorbing the remnants like a newborn swallowing its own broken shell. It sank back into his flesh, and Wang Lin opened his eyes, pupils blazing, as if the world's outline had become sharper, colder, and more honest. After 700 years of cultivation, he had entered Wending, and that simple truth carried weight, like a mountain pressing down on the chest. He spoke only one word, Wending, and when it left his lips, the cave's air seemed to tighten, as if reality acknowledged him. He rose slowly, feeling the new realm's stability, and for a moment he listened, because quiet after 10 years can hide sudden death. Across the void, the Black Tower's armored entity flared with greedy satisfaction, because the harvest had ripened exactly as it planned. It summoned black bones from the earth, drawing them together, then extended a bracer filled with demonic fire from its armor like cruel command. The bones fused into a pitch-black skeletal arm, thick with deathly aura, as if assembled from centuries of resentment and unburied hatred. A gigantic black vortex opened in the sky, swallowing light, and the armored entity issued a single quiet order that sounded like judgment. "Go," it commanded, "bring the primordial qi back here," and the skeletal arm surged downward like a hunting hound unleashed. Inside the cave, the vortex appeared above Wang Lin without sound, like a mouth opening, and the air instantly turned heavy and hostile. Wang Lin sensed danger, seized the cave token, and began teleporting away, his body turning hazy like mist at the edge of Stormwind. The skeletal arm shot down, claws inches from his crown, ready to seize newborn qi still steaming through his meridians. Wang Lin vanished at the last moment, escaping before the fingers closed, and the clawed hand seized only empty air and echoing silence. Yet interference disrupted the teleportation, twisting the passage, and Wang Lin reappeared on a strange plane within Huayaojun, wind scraping his face raw. He had barely steadied his breath when the black vortex reappeared above him, following with terrifying speed, shadow stitched to his footsteps. This time Wang Lin stopped, eyes sharp, staring upward like a man deciding whether to cut the sky itself before it could bite again. The skeletal palm expanded and slammed down like a coffin lid descending, aiming to trap his freshly formed realm in darkness and drain it dry. Wang Lin raised a hand and struck with the annihilation finger, meeting the attack head-on, fury cold and controlled like ice over fire. A boom shook the plane, and his divine ability shattered instantly, crushed by that dry black palm's overwhelming force, as if his technique was paper. Wang Lin's pupils tightened, and he teleported away muttering, "Whoever you are, don't provoke me," voice low, dangerous, and unwilling to yield. He vanished again, leaving rippling air behind, anger compressing into a quiet blade inside his chest, sharper than his earlier desperation. In the Black Tower, an amused whisper echoed, hungry and pleased. "Not bad, worthy of a reverse cultivator." The whisper continued, Over the years, every newly reached Wending has been devoured by me, and you won't be an exception. Wang Lin appeared in a desolate place, wind scraping empty ground, and one question hammered inside his skull, refusing to settle. What is that arm, he thought, because this threat did not feel like a living cultivator, but like a dead law wearing hunger. He sensed a restriction in the distance and rushed toward it, hoping terrain and formations could break the pursuit's rhythm and buy him one breath. Up close, the place looked ordinary, almost disappointing, and he nearly turned away until the black vortex and skeletal arm appeared again above him. Without hesitation, Wang Lin leapt into the restriction, gambling everything on the unknown, because the known meant being seized and drained alive. A strange, vivid world unfolded, countless lush trees stretching endlessly like a green sea, their leaves trembling under a sky that felt too still. Looking closer, Wang Lin's eyes narrowed, because every branch held Shengxian Guo, Ascension Fruit, hanging like lanterns of temptation and fevered promise. Outside, the skeletal arm tore at the restriction, and the entire space groaned, trembling as if the world's bones were being snapped apart. Inside, Wang Lin judged the fruit's effect: stimulation, excitement, a violent push to body and spirit, yet he did not consume it immediately. The arm burst in anyway, shadow falling across trees like night swallowing a field, and demonic chi spread outward, forming a prison 1,000 jang wide. Wang Lin drew his immortal sword, killing intent surging, and swordlight slashed in layered arcs, cutting leaves and air like dragons. Bone met sword with violent clanging, iron mountains colliding, shaking the forest, and green leaves rained down like a storm of shattered banners. In a blink, the skeletal hand seized the immortal sword, gripping it tightly as if the weapon was a captured toy, mocking his strength. Wang Lin's eyes turned blood red, and he absorbed demonic chi from all directions, forming a furious vortex that howled like a starving storm. A gigantic finger of force shot from the void and smashed into the skeletal arm, forcing it to defend, and the air rippled like water. In that single moment of pressure, the immortal sword slipped free and returned, trembling, like a wounded beast rushing back to its master. But the prison barrier held firm, sealing sky and earth, and Wang Lin slapped his palm into it, making it tremble without breaking. Realizing escape would not come easily, Wang Lin's gaze dropped to the Ascension Fruit below, and a dangerous idea flashed behind his eyes. If the cage wanted to suppress his spirit, he would burn through it with stimulation, forcing his body to anchor what the enemy tried to tear away. He raised a hand, and within 1,000 zhang, every fruit ripped free, rising into the air like a storm of green-gold stars. Tens of thousands shattered at once, juices condensing together, compressing again and again into a thick essence that pulsed with violent stimulation. Wang Lin inhaled, and streams rushed into him from every direction like rivers forced into one narrow throat, flooding mouth and meridians. The instant the essence entered, his body convulsed, thunder detonating inside his mind, and his spirit surged toward a peak of frenzy and heat. He forced that frenzy downward, turning it into raw momentum, pinning the nascent soul that tried to escape his body back into place. Veins bulged across his face, eyes, bloodshot, pain and fury twisting together until his expression looked feral beneath the trembling canopy. He roared, "Get lost!" And the sound became rolling thunder, blasting outward, shaking trees, cracking air, and colliding violently with demonic Kuai. The forest seemed to bend under the pressure, and the prison barrier flickered, as if even a dead law hesitated before a man refusing to kneel. Wang Lin stepped forward, lifted his left hand's little finger, and pointed without hesitation, releasing the Huangquan finger straight into darkness. This Huangquan finger brushed the edge of low-grade immortal technique, and as it formed, a section of space collapsed and broke like brittle glass. When it struck, heaven and earth seemed to melt, smoke and dust exploding outward, the world spinning, and the skeletal attack finally shattered. The arm recoiled, forced back by a power it did not expect from prey, and the green sea of trees shuddered as if exhaling. In the Black Tower, rage burst from within the armor, a furious roar shaking emptiness as greedy patience turned into violent hunger. A massive will surged outward, crazed and enormous, merging into the void and gathering energy, preparing to strike again with even greater force. Wang Lin steadied his breath, feeling Ascension essence burning through his veins like fire trapped under ice, painful, useful, and dangerous. He understood the chase was not finished, and that the next strike would be heavier, because predators hate being wounded more than they love feeding. Still, he held his ground for a heartbeat, because now he had seen the enemy's greed, and greed can be turned into a trap. His eyes narrowed, mind racing, already measuring distance, timing, and the moment when pursuit becomes overconfidence, and overconfidence becomes death. And that's where episode 122 closes, with Wang Lin newly in Wending, hunted by a Black Tower's ancient predator, and forced to fight the sky itself. If you enjoyed this episode, smash like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chase. Now tell me, would you run like Wang Lin, or set a trap for that skeletal arm? And do you think the Black Tower is hunting him, or harvesting him? Drop your theory in the comments, because the next chapter will decide whether Wang Lin escapes or gets dragged into a darkness that has eaten Wending cultivators for centuries. Because next time we'll see whether Wang Lin can break this chase completely, or whether the ancient hunger finally drags his newborn realm into darkness. Thanks for watching 3D Cartoon Review, and I'll see you in the next video where the stronger you become, the louder the world dares to bite.